We're looking at A.O. Smith through an EPS-based valuation framework, and this is a strong example of how a high-quality industrial business can move through periods of overvaluation, normalization, and renewed opportunity depending on what the market expects from growth. Let's start with the past. A.O. Smith's long-term success comes from a few things done consistently well: strong positions in water heaters and boilers, disciplined execution, good margin management, and reliable cash generation. This is not a company that usually depends on one blockbuster product cycle. Instead, it creates value through operational consistency, pricing discipline, and steady demand tied to replacement needs and commercial markets. That consistency is exactly why the stock earned a premium valuation at times. But the chart also shows the classic investor mistake with quality industrial names: paying peak multiples during strong sentiment periods, especially when growth looks cleaner than it really is. When the market becomes too optimistic, investors start treating a solid cyclical business as if growth will stay elevated for much longer. Then, when demand normalizes, especially in weaker categories or geographies, the stock can derate even if the company remains fundamentally healthy. So the past lesson here is not that A.O. Smith is a weak business. It's that investors can overpay for quality and stability. Now let's move to the present. Your chart shows an actual price around $77.20, and that matches the current market price very closely. AOS is trading at about $77.20, with a market cap near $10.3 billion and APE around 19.4. What's interesting is that the stock is well below prior peak prices on your chart, while the company has continued to produce solid earnings and cash flow. In its 2025 results, A.O. Smith reported record diluted EPS of $3.85, net sales of about $3.8 billion, free cash flow of $546 million, and $597 million returned to shareholders through dividends and buybacks. The company also noted 80 basis points of operating margin improvement. So the current setup is a balance between strength and caution. On the positive side, North America margins improved and commercial water heater and boiler demand helped performance. On the cautious side, China remained pressured, and management continues to frame that market as challenging. A.O. Smith said rest of world sales fell in 2025 with China third-party sales down 12%, even though margins improved due to restructuring and cost savings. Now for the future, and this is where valuation matters most. Management's 2026 outlook calls for sales growth of 2% to 5% and EPS of $3.85 to $4.15, with a midpoint implying modest growth, not a boom. They also expect Leonard Valve to contribute roughly $70 million of sales in 2026. That tells us the valuation debate is not about whether AOS can become a hypergrowth company. It's about whether the market should pay a healthy multiple for a business that can deliver steady replacement-driven demand, margin discipline, solid free cash flow, and continued capital returns. If execution remains strong and North America holds up while China stabilizes, today's valuation can look reasonable. But if residential demand weakens, input costs rise faster than pricing, or international softness persists, the stock may stay range-bound even with a fundamentally sound business. So the valuation summary is clear. The past shows A.O. Smith as a disciplined long-term operator, but also that investors can overpay at optimistic peaks. The present shows a stock trading below past highs while fundamentals remain solid. And the future depends on steady execution, margin quality, and whether moderate growth plus shareholder returns are enough to support multiple expansion. So for A.O. Smith, the real valuation question is: are we buying a quality industrial compounder at more reasonable expectations, or a business entering a period where growth stays solid, but valuation upside remains limited? Let's go straight into the risks, because with A.O. Smith, the big question in 2026 is not whether the company is well run. It is. The real risk is whether demand, pricing, and margins remain strong enough to support earnings growth in a mixed macro environment. The biggest risk is China demand weakness, especially in housing-related and consumer-facing categories. A.O. Smith has meaningful international exposure, and when demand in China stays soft, it can weigh on volume growth and overall sentiment. Even if management executes well on costs, weaker demand can still limit revenue growth and make the stock look like a slow-growth industrial rather than a compounding quality name. Closely connected is raw material cost volatility, especially in steel and other manufacturing inputs. A.O. Smith can often manage costs through pricing and productivity, but there is usually a timing gap. If input costs rise quickly while demand is soft, margin pressure can build before pricing actions fully catch up. Another major risk is pricing power normalization and promotional pressure. In stronger environments, industrial and consumer product companies can push pricing more easily. But when growth slows and customers become more price sensitive, pricing gets harder, promotions increase, and margin expansion becomes more difficult, even if unit volumes are relatively stable. Then there's North America residential demand softness. Smith benefits from replacement demand, which is generally more resilient than new construction, but it is not immune to consumer caution. If homeowners delay replacements, trade down, or postpone larger purchases because of rates and affordability pressure, demand can soften in key categories. Execution risk also matters. The bull case depends on product mix discipline, cost savings, and consistent operational execution. If restructuring benefits fade, mix worsens, or acquired assets underperform expectations, earnings growth can disappoint even without a sharp demand drop. We also need to watch channel inventory swings. Distributors and channel partners can change ordering patterns based on demand expectations or inventory levels. That can create quarter-to-quarter volatility in reported sales, even if end demand is not moving dramatically. And finally, there's valuation stagnation risk. Smith can remain a strong business and still deliver muted stock returns if investors decide the company deserves a stable but not expanding multiple. Smith's 2026 risks are less about a broken business model and more about slow pressure on growth and margins, softer China demand, input cost volatility, pricing normalization, and the possibility that a quality business remains range-bound in valuation. In the short term, the biggest opportunity is North America replacement demand resilience. A large part of A.O. Smith's business is tied to products that eventually must be replaced, especially water heaters and boilers. That replacement dynamic can create more stable demand than many industrial categories, even when consumers are cautious. It does not eliminate cyclicality, but it can reduce downside and support steadier earnings. Second, there is the opportunity for margin expansion through cost discipline, pricing carryover, and product mix improvement. Smith has shown it can manage margins well through productivity actions and pricing discipline. If input costs remain manageable and mix improves, earnings growth can outpace revenue growth, which is especially important in a moderate growth environment. Third, commercial channel strength can be an important short-term upside driver. Demand from restaurants, hospitality, and institutional customers can help offset softness in parts of residential demand. If commercial activity remains stable or improves, that can support both volumes and operating leverage. Another short-term opportunity is China margin recovery through restructuring and efficiency actions. Even if top-line growth in China remains pressured, Smith may still improve profitability by focusing on cost structure, operational efficiency, and more disciplined market positioning. That matters because investors often assume weak demand automatically means weak profitability, and that is not always true. And of course, capital returns remain a practical source of shareholder value. If free cash flow stays healthy, Smith can continue supporting dividends and buybacks, which helps total return even if valuation expansion is limited. Now on the long-term side, the biggest opportunity is the company's replacement-driven installed base, which supports durable cash flows over time. This is a major advantage because the business does not rely only on new construction or one-time demand spikes. Another long-term opportunity is water quality and treatment growth, along with premium product mix expansion. As consumers and institutions become more focused on water quality, efficiency, and reliability, Smith can capture value through higher value products and solutions, not just basic replacement units. There is also upside from energy efficiency upgrades and regulation-driven replacement cycles. Over time, stricter standards and energy efficiency goals can support replacement demand and encourage upgrades to newer systems. Internationally, one important opportunity is diversification beyond China. If the company expands effectively in other regions, it can reduce concentration risk and create a more balanced growth profile. And finally, Smith's long-term upside is strengthened by free cash flow compounding. If management continues disciplined execution, the company can reinvest selectively while returning capital to shareholders through dividends, buybacks, and potentially targeted acquisitions. Now let's look at analyst sentiment for A.O. Smith. The rating mix is clearly cautious and neutral. 0 strong buy, 4 buy, 9 hold, 1 sell, and 0 strong sell. That usually signals that analysts respect the company's quality and cash generation, but they don't see a strong near-term catalyst that forces a more aggressive stance. The high number of hold ratings often reflects a good business, fair valuation view. In other words, AOS can continue executing well, steady replacement demand, margin discipline, and capital returns. But analysts may be waiting for clearer acceleration, especially around China stabilization, stronger volume growth, or a more attractive entry price. The single sell rating also highlights the main concern some analysts have. If growth remains modest and the stock doesn't re-rate higher, total returns can look limited compared with other opportunities. So the takeaway is, sentiment is not bearish, but it's a classic prove-it setup. Solid business quality, with analysts waiting for stronger growth traction or a cheaper valuation before turning meaningfully bullish.